Up next will be Tulane and head coach Willie Fritz. And as we mentioned at the top of the call, Tulane is be finishing up their practice right around now, so they may be a little later than the 12:50 Eastern time that we have slotted for them. Hope you can bear with us for them as they get ready for their matchup against Auburn. We mentioned at the top of the call, Justin McMillan, Tulane's quarterback, is the American's Offensive Player of the Week. We will check in with the folks at Tulane to see if we can get an ETA on Coach Fritz's joining the call, but shouldn't be too long. And we are joined by Coach Willie Fritz from Tulane. As mentioned, Tulane was in action last Thursday against Florida International. Tulane won the game 42-14. Up next for the Green Wave will be on the road on Saturday playing at Auburn. It will be a 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central start on ESPN2. And again, as we mentioned at the top of the call, Justin McMillan from Tulane is the American's Offensive Player of the Week. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call, particularly as you're wrapping up a practice. If you just get your thoughts on the win against FIU, and we expect to see as you take to the road to face Auburn on Saturday, please.
The team I play with a ton of energy against a good Florida International team. We didn't play smart all the time. We had way too many penalties, some busts at critical times as well, but came out of the box hard on offense, rushed for 350, which is outstanding, particularly in the first game. I thought defensively we really played well and through three quarters. And I think they had right around 100 yards after three, got quite a few yards in the fourth quarter. We're able to play a lot of guys, which was exciting. That first game is always a nervous time because you've been going through all these different situations and scenarios, and now you're doing it out there for real. So glad we got that under our belt, and now we're moving up in weight class, against Auburn. Had a big win over Oregon the other night, and we're going to play great. We're going to have to make that improvement you talk about from week one to week two. We're going to have to make that type of improvement in order to have an opportunity to win that game.
We'll take questions for Coach Fritz, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
At the Athletic. We will now go to our next question from Chris Vanini of the Athletic. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hey, Willie, what did you think of the job Will Hall did running the offense, and what's kind of different, what's different that he brought?
Well, I thought Will did a super job. I was very impressed with the offensive staff. The players have embraced change. We've got a lot of offense, a lot of things we can do. I just think the thing he does really nice job of is utilizing all, parts of the field, horizontally, vertically. Really does a good job with that. Sometimes we're playing football in a phone booth. Other times we're stretching the field, east, west, north, south. For first game, again, for the coaches, that first game is just as big as it is for the players. That's the first time he and I had worked together. So we're going to work through a few kinks and, just with substitution and, bleeding the clock or tempo or whatever the case may be, and practice it all you want, but to get out there and it's live, it's a little bit different.
And what did you think of how your defensive line played, and how important are they going to be against Auburn? When it comes to getting to Nick?
Oh, it's going to be huge. You know, we're going to play well in all three levels defensively. You know, I feel since most people in the country, you know, we're going to have to do that this week. You know, we got a pretty good mass up front, and good quickness, good players up there, and that's going to be a critical part of the game. You know, our O-line against that dominating defensive line that Auburn has, and then our defensive line against, you know, a bigger offensive line than we normally see.
Thanks, Willie.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to our next question from Josh Vitale of Montgomery Advertiser. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask about Jatarvius Whitlow. I know you recruited him back in 2017, and I wanted to get your thoughts on, you know, what you remember about recruiting him and what you see him in him as a player now that he's Auburn's lead running back.
Oh, good running back. You know, good size, good quickness. You know, we were looking at when we were recruiting him a few years back. Knew he had an opportunity to be a really good player.
Was he a player you thought you would land that year?
Yeah, we thought that, but you know, it's never over until I think he's like 27 years head coach. So, you know, you just until you get him there on campus, it's just part of it, you know. So, you know, I know he's had good success there, and happy for him, you know, all those kind of things.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll now take our next question from Mr. Rob Walker of Times-Picayune Advocate. Please go ahead. Your line is open.
Coach Fritz, what do you do to prepare your team just for that environment, you know, going over to Auburn and playing in that atmosphere for their home opener?
Well, you know, it's a little bit like Hoosiers, you know. Talk to guys about how it's, you know, between 120, 53 and 30. Those are the only people going to be playing the ball game. You know, we'll play a little music and loud noise during practicing this week that we normally do. I do a good job of hand signals and, you know, just playing in the moment, not letting all that stuff, you know, get into your head.
How much does it help?
Going over there fighting, kind of familiarize yourself with the surroundings. Pardon?
Yeah, so how much does it help having a guy like Justin who's, you know, obviously played in that conference and he understands that, you know, that atmosphere? Does that help him tremendously for him?
Yeah, I think it'll, you know, help. He's, you know, been in, you know, hasn't played a whole lot in these types of environment, but he, you know, Ohio
Right.
State last year obviously was like that, and music's going full blast throughout the game anyway, so it's loud, and it was loud at our place last Thursday night, so he'll do a great job. He played in some, you know, big venues in high school too for state championships, you know, 50,000, so he won't have a problem with it.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And do we have any final questions for Coach Willie Fritz, please? Star 1 on your telephone keypad, if so. Coach, appreciate your time as always. Look forward to talking to you once again next Monday.